Welcome to Sudbury Sports Unbiased, your source for no-spin coverage on the Sudbury Wolves, Sudbury 5, Sudbury Cyclones, and Sudbury Cups. Hello, sports fans. We're back for the second game of a doubleheader. And as advertised, we have Giuseppe Politi, head coach of the Sudbury Cyclones, back with us. Giuseppe, good to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, a lot of fun this morning, and we're going to hope that tonight we can duplicate what we did this morning because you're right, it was great fun. So very simple assignment tonight. We have 11 more World Cup groups, courtesy of FIFA, because last time we only had 8 groups. So you're going to have to do a little bit more work on this show than you did 3.5 years ago if you ever did predictions in Qatar. But we're going to get through this. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to let the listeners have a good laugh at both of our expenses. So that will be good. So we're going
Sounds
to
good.
start. Yep. So we're going to start with Group A. Mexico, South Africa, Korea, and Czechia. Giuseppe, who do you think is going to come out of that group? Just give me the top 2. We don't have to go through will the third place team advance. If you think they will, just let me know.
Right. I think Mexico will win the group, followed by South Korea. South Africa will go home right straight away. Czechia could have a chance at third place.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. I think Mexico at home is always tough. They're playing at altitude. That's going to be a significant factor. The South Africans are flying in late. That's not going to be good for the Thursday kickoff. It's going to be a zoo down at Stadia Azteca. And I think Mexico has too much. Korea, very, very energetic side. They can score goals. Czechia, decent European side. And I agree. I think the guys with the Vuvuzelas, they can't use them this year, but I think they will be going home a little bit early. We're going to move on now to Group C. And in Group C, just give me a moment to scroll down slightly. There we go. We have Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. To me, Giuseppe, I think we have a pretty obvious top 2. Who do you like between Brazil and Morocco to top the group?
I think given it's in North America, I think the safe choice would be Brazil. I could see it being both on 7 points, but maybe Brazil takes it on a goal differential. I could see a draw between Brazil and Morocco, but whether they go 1-2, 2-1, however you want to cut it, I can't see Haiti or Scotland displacing either one of those 2 teams.
I can't either, actually. And I think Morocco, they had a tremendous tournament. You recall in Qatar, they made the semifinals. They were in Canada's group. They were supposed to be the easy team in the Canada group. They turned out to be anything but. Terrific team. King of Morocco has put a lot of money into their infrastructure. It certainly shows. Brazil, perennial powerhouse. Haiti and Scotland, 2 interesting teams. The Haitians play a very exciting brand of soccer. I'm a little afraid that when Scotland plays their game against Brazil in the nice cool temperatures of Miami, that some of the Scots may get a little sunburned, but I think it'll be a battle for third between Haiti and Scotland. I can see those 2 teams drawing, Giuseppe, when they play. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know too much about Haiti and Scotland. The fact that both these teams are here are fantastic for those respective countries, but I think they're both in the same boat. They're only going to advance by coming in third.
And I'm not so sure they're going to be one of the lucky third place teams. I think it's going to be tight for them, but you never know. Group D, USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. This group I don't think is as straightforward as people believe. What are your thoughts on this group?
I think Turkey has some good talent with Yildiz. I follow him because he plays at Juventus. They have an Italian coach, and I think they could surprise. I don't think they're going to go too far, but out of those 4 teams, I'm picking Turkey and United States to advance. Australia will go home, and Paraguay will have to hope to pick up some points and come in third place.
Yes. When I watch the U.S., which I've done frequently, they seem to be very inconsistent. They can be great sometimes, and they can be horrendous. And I think Pochettino's had a tough time with those people. I don't know if some of those guys are the easiest to coach. I think Turkey is under the radar. I think they're probably the best team in the group. Paraguay could pull a surprise in my mind. And Australia, good defensive team. I just don't think there's going to score enough goals to be relevant in this group.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to move on now to Group E. And Group E has some very interesting teams. We're talking about Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. And my first comment is, I wonder if Ecuador thought they drew the short straw at the FIFA World Cup draw, because I don't see them finishing anywhere but in fourth place.
Yeah, I mean, I think the easy pick is to have Germany win the group. Not necessarily with 3 wins, maybe 2 wins and a draw. I would choose Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire to come in second. And I would love to see a country like Curacao come in third. Obviously, the majority of those players, if not all, were born and raised in the Netherlands because they have, the citizenship going back and forth from Curacao. So that would be fantastic for that island. It's a great island, a beautiful place down in near South America, just north of South America. So that's my 2 cents. I see Germany and Ivory Coast and Curacao third. I don't know if they're going to be able to pick up enough points though to be part of the 8 that qualify for the round of 32.
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting group. I think Germany would be classified as the favorite. Ecuador is an excellent team, but they seem to have trouble scoring goals. Canada played them in a friendly. They had some issues. You look at a team like Ivory Coast. We also played them, I believe. That's Canada. They were fairly impressive. So I can see those two teams battling it out for third. And like I said, poor Curacao. Nice island, but good team, actually. Up and coming team, I must say. But I think they're going to finish fourth. Moving on to Group F, we have Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia. Who do you like in this group?
To be honest, I'm not the Dutch usually come in with high expectations, but I'm not convinced. Specifically, their coach, I'm not a big fan of Ronald Koeman. I don't think he's that strong. I would not be surprised with Japan winning the group. I see Tunisia going out, so they're going to be fourth, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sweden can come in second place in that group. I know that's probably not the most common answer you're going to get. A lot of people would probably pick Netherlands to win the group, but I'm not convinced. So I take Japan and Sweden. Netherlands could be one of the best 8 in third, but Tunisia will have a short trip.
Yeah, I think Japan is going very much under the radar. This is a terrific team. I've seen them play Canada a couple of times. Very quick, very athletic. They can score goals. Netherlands, you can't discount them. They can be dangerous on their day. Tunisia, I think they're definitely in an underdog situation. The team that I'm really having trouble figuring out is Sweden. Sweden had a lousy UEFA playoff. Well, actually, they qualified by that, and they
Mhm.
came in via the back door. Is
Yeah.
Sweden that bad, or are they playing up to their capabilities now?
To be quite honest, I mean, it's tough. I don't know enough about Sweden, but I'm pretty sure they have the striker from Arsenal on the team. And if I'm remembering correctly, they got their qualifying campaign had like a series of ties, like an abnormal amount of ties, where they only had a few points and then they snuck in through the back door. I mean, overall, I don't see this group as being strong, and I don't expect any of the teams to go much further. I think whoever advances, they're gone in the round of 32, regardless.
Yeah, I think maybe the only team that I think has a chance to advance perhaps could be Japan. That would be my thoughts. Group G, Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Interesting group here. Do you think that Belgium is the class of this group?
Yes, but not by much. I think Belgium missed the boat per se in their golden generation, which was probably about 4 to 6 years ago. With De Bruyne in his prime, who's starting to age, Lukaku, etc. They had their chance. I think their best team was probably when Italy beat them in the Euros. So I think that they could win the group, but I think it's going to be close with Egypt. I mean, Mo Salah, I'm sure, will lead the line for Egypt. Omar Marmoush. I think those are the 2 teams that are going to advance out of Group G. Between Iran and New Zealand, there's not a lot there. And again, I don't see it. I don't see Group G producing a candidate to win this whole thing. So, of the last couple little conversations we've had, Group F and G are weak.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I think that Belgium isn't what they used to be. We played them, as you remember, in 2022 in Qatar. And frankly, Belgium was fortunate to get away with a 1-0 victory. Iran and Egypt, I see them as comparable, but not powerful. And I think New Zealand is here for a good time, as the song would say, but not a long time.
Agreed.
Okay. Group H, And Group H features Spain, Capo Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Seems to me there's two clear frontrunners in this group.
Yeah, I think the no-brainer, like if Spain doesn't go unbeaten, I could see them 2 wins and a draw, or 3 wins would be easy. Cabo Verde, I don't know much about, but I mean, probably going to finish in fourth. Uruguay, has the whole history to them. I still don't think they're the Uruguay of other years with Diego Forlan and some of those players. Saudi, it's going to be interesting to see how Saudi Arabia does. I mean, given their pro league is where the majority of their players are going to come from, I could see Saudi surprising and coming in second.
Well, as you remember in Qatar, they actually pulled a huge surprise by
That's right.
beating Argentina. So
You're
it's
right.
it's not beyond the realm of possibility. I think Uruguay is a decent team, but you'll remember that we played them in the Copa America. We being Canada gave them an excellent game, and I don't think Uruguay is quite as good, maybe as people advertise. I think that Spain wins this group in a walk. In fact, my suspicion will be that when they play Cabo Verde, that they may rotate the squad, and that may prove beneficial down the line because I see Spain as a potential championship contender. And I think my thought is Saudi Arabia, pretty good. I think it'll be between them and Uruguay for second place.
Yep, I would agree.
Okay. Group I. This is a very intriguing group. France, Senegal, Iraq, Norway. Erling Haaland makes his World Cup debut. Are the Norwegians a legitimate threat in this group?
I mean, to win the group, I don't know. I still think France just talent. They have 22 players that would be starters anywhere. They probably left another starting 11 at home that could be starters anywhere. They're probably the deepest team out of in terms of talent of all the teams. I see France winning the group. I see Iraq coming in last, Norway coming in second, and Senegal obviously in third place.
I really like Senegal. I think they're one of the better African sides. I think they could upset the apple cart, but the team I really don't want to play if I'm an opposing team is Norway. Erling Haaland, tremendous player. And you may recall a few days ago, Norway played Sweden in a friendly without Erling Haaland and beat the Swedes quite handily 4-2. This is a team that I don't think they're going to win the World Cup, but I think they're going to scare a few people along the way.
Yeah, I mean, geez, I think, is it 28 years? It's a generation since Norway has been back to the World Cup, and it's fantastic because a player like Erling Haaland deserves a chance to showcase his talent, in the biggest event.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I can't wait. And there's been a lot of speculation that even if Norway doesn't go really deep into the tournament, that he could win the Golden Boot. That would be quite interesting if that happened.
It would be fantastic. Hopefully, we see goals. I mean, I'm a neutral in this, other than cheering for Canada. Italy's out. I want to be entertained, and he can certainly provide that.
Without any doubt. So now we're moving on to Group J, and I call this the A group, not because it's the best teams, but 3 of the 4 teams in this group start with the letter A. Argentina, Algeria, Austria, Jordan. I think I know who's going to finish first in this group. I'm going to give it to Argentina. My question to you is, who finishes second?
It's probably Austria, but to be honest, I don't know enough about Algeria, and I'm picking Jordan to finish last. I don't know anything about them. It's fantastic that they're there. There's so many issues going on in the Middle East, and just having representation and bringing people together from that part of the world is fantastic. Algeria could surprise. It's going to be tight. I think maybe it's possible that Algeria can pull something off. Austria will be somebody like Switzerland. They're tough to play against. They got a little bit here and there. They could upset here or there. I just don't see them going far. Same with Algeria. If they do advance, maybe a round 2, that's about it.
Yeah, I think Algeria could pull a surprise. Some of those Middle Eastern teams really get up for this tournament, and I think that they're one of the teams I think that could surprise. I'm going to put them in second. I'm going to put them slightly ahead of Austria. I think that'll be a tight group, and I completely agree that Jordan, nice to see them, but I don't think they're going to go beyond the group stage. Moving on to Group K. Portugal, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. This is a pretty interesting group, Giuseppe.
Yeah, I think, you know, whether you're a Messi or Ronaldo fan, Portugal has to be the favorite here. Congo, I think, qualified through the playoff. Uzbekistan, I don't even know how they did. I have a soft spot for them because Fabio Cannavaro is their head coach, and he was a legend 20 years ago. In fact, I was at the World Cup 20 years ago when he led Italy to victory. I was able to watch Italy and Fabio Cannavaro play live 3 games in Germany. All that heartfelt stuff. I see Uzbekistan and Congo coming third or fourth. Colombia, if Colombia doesn't finish second, it would be a tragedy because this group is made for Portugal and Colombia to go through.
Yeah, I think the Colombian team is very dangerous, actually. They have an excellent team. They've got good attackers. You've got James Rodriguez and others. This team could pull a major surprise. I would not be terribly surprised if Colombia makes it to the quarterfinals. That's how deep a run I think Colombia could make. That's my thinking. However, I think Portugal is the class of the group, but not so sure there's a whole lot there between Colombia and Portugal. I think even Colombia could take this group.
It's possible. I mean, what I could see is when Portugal, and I don't know the order of when they're playing, but let's say Portugal and Colombia draw, and then it becomes who scores more against the other two, right? So they might both be on 7 points, beat up on the weaker groups, and maybe Colombia's +6 and Portugal's only +5, and all of a sudden they get the number one rank. Either way, I
Correct.
think Portugal and Colombia are gonna come out of Group K.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that, Giuseppe. And finally, last but not least, England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. And you know, England, every year we hear that refrain. I hear it every 4 years. Is it coming home? Is it coming home? So, Giuseppe, tell me, is it coming home this year?
I hope not, but it's possible. I think you have to throw England into your top 4 to 6 contenders for this tournament. I see them advancing out of Group L. I do not see Panama advancing. Croatia should come in second. You know, I think through most of our selections here, with the exception of Netherlands, we've gone with the safe answer. What's beautiful about the World Cup is that we're due for a shock at some point or multiple shocks. I don't see a shock here. I think England and Croatia are going to go through. It's when you get to the knockout stages, that's when I think we're really going to be surprised.
Yes, I'm inclined to agree. I think England is the best team. I think Croatia very dangerous. I can see them drawing when they play each other. Ghana and Panama, I think they're battling it out for third. Maybe one of those teams could be one of the best 8 third place teams.
It's possible. I mean, it's going to be an interesting thing. Like, what is the threshold to get that third place? Top 8 in third place? Is it going to be 4 points, 5 points? What sort of differential? Will you only need +1, +2? It's going to be an interesting breakdowns. The World Cup's never been this big, so we will see.
And in fact, you know, it's funny, you bring up an interesting point, and I was doing some research today, and apparently, if you end up with 3 points in your group, there's a 67% chance that you advance to the round of 32. I was a little surprised by that. I thought the number would be 4 points, which I think is more realistic, but depending on how the points are distributed, you know, that's where draws become important. It's entirely possible that there could be a team with 3 points that could advance. One
Uh,
win, two losses.
yeah, exactly. Versus 2 draws and a loss, right? Because that'd only be 2 points.
Correct.
So it's going to be interesting, and I'm excited. It's only a few days away. You know, as a country, we've been, waiting for this moment for I don't even know how many years since they announced it, but it feels like almost 8 to 10 years that we knew that the World Cup was coming, and now it's just a matter of days away. It's an exciting time for soccer in our country.
Yes, it is. I remember when Alfonso Davies made his presentation to FIFA. You probably remember that when he gave his life story about, how he was in a Ghanaian refugee camp and his family basically left that situation and came to Edmonton. It was a fairy tale. And Alfonso Davies, I think, really charmed the powers that be at FIFA. And I think that was one of the main reasons why Canada got the World Cup, because I think FIFA sees Canada as an emerging soccer nation. No, we're not in the category of a Brazil or a Germany, but I think, especially in the last few years, Giuseppe, I think you'd agree, we've made massive strides forward.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the game is becoming more and more popular, and I think Canada, on the women's side, has always, or at least in recent years, has solidified itself as a real contender. And now the men's, that dream run to qualifying in 2022 will just be supported with what we can put on the field here in 2026. And there was a time when people would sort of kind of scoff or laugh at Canada that, you guys don't know what you're doing, so on and so forth. But I think Jesse Marsh has a team that can at least advance to the round of 32 and show that we can do soccer in this country. We're not there yet, to win the whole thing, but we've come a long way.
Well, I remember the line 2 or 3 years ago when we made our run in 2022. There were a lot of headlines in the European press. Canada is a footballing nation? Question mark. That tells you how far we've come.
Yeah, like I said, all we need now is the results. We have the talent, we got a good manager or coach, we have a fair group. It's not like when we've been drawn into the group of death. I know we talked earlier about what's going to happen in Group B. Canada has a very good chance of advancing in top two. As well as you have the third place. So a lot of people that I'm talking to are saying, "Hey, Canada, maybe you should just win a game first." And yes, that's where it starts. But it would be disappointing if they didn't advance, given the expanded format and given who was drawn in the.
Yes, I agree. And I think this time, I think Canada will advance. And let me tell you, I can't wait to see this team in a knockout game. It's funny because I was talking to my co-host Rick, and Rick says, well, a lot of people, they're not really talking about the World Cup. And my response was this: wait until Canada wins a couple of games if they do. Because we saw that in Copa America,
Mhm.
where nobody gave us a chance. Oh, we're going to Copa America. Forget it. We're going to get killed. Well, guess what? We were extremely competitive. And guess what happened? The ratings,
Huh?
the Canadian team went through the roof. People all of a sudden got interested. And I think that's what might happen even here.
That's the hope. I mean, I remember, being younger. I'm in my 40s now, but being younger, you never really had a chance to cheer for Canada. And obviously, Canada is a country of immigrants, and everybody has, the Portuguese flag, the Italian flag, the English flag. Everybody's kind of looking back to their parents or grandparents, but we're getting to a time now where we should see a lot more Canada. I'll be dressed in red on Friday in Toronto, supporting Canada. So it's a great time to be involved in the game.
Yes. And I think there'll be a lot of people just like you, and I'll be the same. I'll be dressed in red and I'll be yelling and screaming, and I will be living and dying with every moment on the pitch. Giuseppe, I want to thank you for coming on again for a second time. I really appreciated your time today. Your insights have been great. I just hope that when we get through the preliminaries, and there's a lot of preliminaries this time, I think there's 72 games in the group stage, that you'll come back and give us your insights when we go into the playoff round and go into the round of 32. I hope you can do that for us.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's see what happens. Let's see what shocks and how good we are at predicting the future.
Well, there was an old hockey coach, local guy. He's dead now, long dead, but a gentleman named Toe Blake once said, predictions are for gypsies.
Mhm.
And on that bright and cheery note, thank you again, Giuseppe. And as I always say at the end of these podcasts, let the sports be with you.
Thanks.